I'm gonna do a little update because I made a video with the GoPro, and what I did is put it somewhere and didn't get anything good recorded because I'm a moron. So under here, we'll do a quick overview. And I got it out of that e-brake hole, perfect, and I did a nutsert and a P-clamp there, and it runs under here beautifully, holds totally stiff by itself. The shifter is there. I adjusted the shifter. I have to make a tiny bit of room here to get this plug in. You could probably force it in there, but if anything moves and it decides to tweak itself, that'll be a bad day. So that's it for now. I got the filter on. I think you probably might have seen that before, but the oil filter, important. It's important, boys. And then what I did was, check this out. You guys are going to freak out. It actually freaks me out. Look how filthy this starter is. Spare starter. I'm actually like, man, I should buy a starter because this one is disgusting looking. All my stuff is so GQ pretty boy. So the only other thing I did was I spun the motor around by the crank and put all the converter bolts in. The converter came with a little bit shorter bolts. The flex plate here came with longer bolts. It has thicker pads that come out. As you can see in here, thicker pads on the SFI billet housing here. So put the thicker bolts in, put a little bit of blue Loctite on them. And then I pulled my triple cooler out of the front, my turbos and everything, because my buddy Joey is going to weld the Faller speed and performance manifolds. He's got to weld because they were just tacked to make sure they would fit before I wasted a set on him. And we pulled out that side of the turbo kit, that side of the turbo kit, and all the coolers. And what's funny is I've never done it before. I haven't done it yet because Tom did all the on-off welding and everything. So it was neat to pull it off. It took me like a couple minutes to yank everything out, pull the bumper and fenders and everything. So what's going to happen next here is accessory drive is going to come off, and I have a ICT billet timing cover with the turbo drains on it. So I'm going to put that on and then put the accessories back on, and then I should have the guys welded up. Actually, it doesn't matter. The entire turbo kit can be bolted on with the exception of the header. It'll just sit waiting for the header. Pretty nice. I have most of the wiring done, which I believe I showed. The harnesses are all run through here. You know, got a little bit messy, but got to run everything. Got to take the intake back off. I have a Summit steam vent kit. I have to make a list for all my fuel lines. I want to run, next thing I want to do is I'm going to put the car over here once the timing stuff is done. And I want to run the battery cable in the car and start hooking that stuff up slowly. And the ECU and keying on and making sure stuff works. And then the other thing on the agenda besides everything is pulling the gas tank out and doing the lift pump and then mounting the surge somewhere, finding a good spot, and fuel lines, all that stuff. All that stuff's going to come together one thing at a time. But there's a quick update for that. I missed everything on the converter install and the shifter adjustment because both times I didn't have the camera. I had it like on super narrow mode for some reason, and it wasn't getting any of the wide shot, which I was sure it would have. So yeah, and I repainted. Tom had sanded a lot of this down to do things, so I just resprayed it all with that Tractor Supply Massey Ferguson gray. And then that's it. So that's where we are, and that's what's coming up next. Is a bunch of the little and major and medium things all at once.